Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Tarp is off the field. It is game number 2. The Cleveland Indians and the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Along with Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. And we could be in for a great pitching matchup. Corey Kluber, he'll go for the Cleveland Indians, and for the Cardinals, Carlos Martinez. On paper, Al, this could be a really good one.
Yeah, it really could be. You know, got Carlos, who we've been saying is our ace and potential, has the ability to win Cy Young. Well, Kluber's won 2 of them, and he's putting himself up there for a possibility of a 3rd one this year. Outstanding pitchers, but really Carlos has to prove it. On paper, you're right, but right now he's kind of, since coming off the disabled list, he's lost 4 straight games, and the Cardinals have lost his last 5 starts.
It's been a lack of control in many ways for Carlos Martinez, but after that you've got Flaherty, Michaelis, Weaver, and Gant. Gant sensational last night. Did have 5 walks, but 1 hit allowed in 7 innings against a potent lineup. So if you combine the 4 starters, they're 3-0, 26 in the 3rd, the ERA under 2, 31 strikeouts to 11 walks, and only 2 home runs allowed.
And kind of interesting, those guys started pitching so well after Carlos had the bad outing in Milwaukee last Thursday.
So the Cardinals, as we speak, 4 games out in the Central. The Chicago Cubs, they're in Los Angeles tonight. They are 2.5 out. And Mike Matheny's club, 3 games ago, you weren't sure where they were going. Back-to-back losses to Milwaukee, but bounced back in the final 2 games of the series and then winning game 1 last night. But a tough, tall order against Kluber tonight, who matched a franchise record for a 9-inning game. He had 18 strikeouts last time that he faced the Cardinals back in May of 2015. Cleveland starting to run away with this division. Everybody else is below the 500 mark. And the Indians 43-34, a lead of 7.5 for Terry Francona's club.
I think all the experts said that Cleveland would win the Central Division in the American League again this year. That'd be 3 straight. Terry Francona has seen his club, and you're right, it's not a very good Central Division in the American League, and he is the class, or his team is the class of that division.
A lot of fans have stuck around. This will be just about the same start time that we had last night after a delay to begin that ball game, and so a rain delay here for game number 2. But we will have baseball tonight. We've got Martinez, Kluber, Cleveland, and St. Louis, and it should be a lot of fun.
We'll take the same result as last night also, won't we?
Cardinals looking for any kind of win they can get.
Sure.
And they're looking for Martinez to bounce back. Now, he's had, in his last 4 starts since coming off the DL, 20 walks to 18 strikeouts. Clearly, that has to change. The starts of Martinez, that was prior to him going on the DL.
And you see opponents are batting under 200, whether lefties or righties. So it's just all those walks he's allowed. He hasn't given up very many home runs, just 3. He just has to concentrate better and keep the ball in the ballpark and just go out there and attack the strike zone.
We'll keep a watchful eye certainly on Carlos Martinez. First inning's an issue a year ago, but he's got a matchup. Mike Matheny talked about it before the game. He said he's just out of sync, and we've got to get him right. However, we have to do it, but we got to keep a close eye on him and get him going in the right direction. We need him, obviously, this year.
Saw Mike Matheny and Mike Maddox, Cardinal pitching coach, talking there, and I'm sure they were talking about how Carlos warmed up in the bullpen. Sometimes it gives you an indication of what might be, you know, whether he's going to have a good game or not. But more times than not, if you have bad stuff in the bullpen, then it helps your concentration and you pitch a good game. How many times you heard a guy said, "Oh, I had no hit stuff in the bullpen," and then they just get smoked in the game.
A look at the Indians lineup. Lindor, Bradley, Ramirez. There are a ton of lefties in their lineup tonight. That also includes Yonder Alonso, Lonnie Chisenhall, Jason Kipnis, then Gomes, Naquin, and the pitcher batting ninth, Corey Kluber. Well, we talked about it in game one that Terry Francona very well could be headed to the Hall of Fame. He ended the curse in Boston, won a couple of championships there, took Cleveland to game 7 of the World Series, and it looks like they're headed to postseason play again. A strike to Lindor, who's batting .292, a switch hitter, 19 home runs, and he's driven in 44. A 1 hour and 26-minute rain delay.
5 more minutes than last night.
With all these lefties, Al, what's your key for Martinez?
Well, it's the one thing is you just got to attack the strike zone. You can't walk people, keep the ball in the ballpark, but get your ground balls. So keep on the lower part of the down in the strike zone, and then if you want to elevate with 2 strikes and get go up the ladder and get some strikeouts, you can do that.
The 2-2 pitch in the dirt and a full count. We've talked about his cutter that at times has emerged this year, which could neutralize left-handed batters. The 3-2 pitch and a base hit laced into center field. The Cardinals defensively tonight. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. Ozuna in left field. Pham back in there in center. And Bader in right. Carpenter, Munoz, Wong, Martinez on the infield. And Yadier Molina is behind the plate. Indians lead Major League Baseball with 56 first inning runs. You can understand why with the firepower they have at the top of their lineup. There's Michael Brantley hitting .313, 11 home runs. He's driven in 44. The double play, pitcher's best friend. We saw that a couple of times last night in favor of the Cardinals.
And when Carlos is right, he can get a lot of those ground ball double plays. John Gant was great yesterday, wasn't he?
Only 1 hit allowed in 7 innings. These two teams win with their starters. No surprise. Only the Astros have a lower starter ERA than the Indians and Cardinals across all Major League Baseball this year. Lindor, he's got speed and power. He's at first base, 10 steals this year. And the 1-0. Falls behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the first 8 starts prior to landing on the DL, Carlos Martinez had a 1.62 ERA.
That was the best in baseball when he went out on the disabled list with that lat strain.
Cardinals have lost all 4 games he's pitched in since returning from the DL. That's a ground ball foul.
Off the foot.
He's coming off his worst start of the year. It's a tough one against Milwaukee. Season high 7 runs, 8 hits in 4 innings. That was the last time out, but we know that, you know, with Martinez, it could be the next time out he hurls, in this case, what could be a 1-hitter. You just don't know.
And that's what you like to see, consistency. He has the ability to be an elite pitcher. And that's really what they were hoping for, that Mike Maddox has had Scherzer and had different frontline starters. They could help Carlos become one of the best pitchers in the game.
Carlos did admit first couple of starts back he was scared about going back and being injured, and you could see that with the velocity being down, kind of babied it. But he's got to get back into the strike zone, period.
And of course the Cardinals were kind of shocked by that statement, because they asked him did he want another rehab start. He only made 1, and he said no, I'm ready to go.
2-2.
But not just a horrible pace to this game so far. You know, you could understand why his defense behind him are kind of like, come on, let's go, pick up the pace.
Slightly bigger lead at first base by Lindor. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Way inside. Well, if the Cardinals are going to go anywhere, they've got to get him right. It's imperative. And the 3-2 pitch inside, and it's a walk. So a single on a 3-2 to center. Now the walk to Brantley, and you're asking for trouble with Ramirez digging in and 23 home runs.
Mound presence is kind of an interesting word, and everybody will talk about mound presence. And does that mean you get knocked around and you don't show any emotion? No, I think what you want to do is you want to have a persona out there that you are going to attack hitters, that you want to get, you know, you defy every hitter to get into that batter's box, and you're not seeing that from him.
So 2 on and nobody out. And Jose Ramirez, the batter, pulls it foul. He'll check his bat, make sure he didn't chip it, break it. It seems to be all right. Lowest opponent average with runners in scoring position. It's a pretty good group. Snell is having a fantastic year with Tampa Bay. Scherzer, DeGrom, Gonzalez, and Carlos Martinez.
That has been his big savior. It's his ability not to give up a lot when he's you know, has been in scoring position. It looks like you're just trying to trick people.
1 ball and 1 strike. Lindor at second, Brantley at first, and the 1-1 pitch to Ramirez. Grounder pulled foul again. Now the last 5 games, so the one right before his stint on the DL, the 4 after that, it's been a different Carlos Martinez with runners in scoring position. Average against him, 286.
And this year he's pitching much better at home than on the road.
Ramirez with a career best 32 game on base streak, hitting .298 during this streak. And the 1-2. He's got 10 home runs, driven in 21, scored 26 runs during his 32 game on base streak. This will be the 17th pitch for Martinez here in the first inning. And the 3rd full count. 10 balls, 7 strikes. And watch out here.
And you're talking about all these left-handers, and he's really trying to get in on them with the slider or the cutter, but not throwing it for a strike. It's way off the plate.
Just got a piece. And the 3-2 pitch again. Fly ball lifted into center. Pham in a position to throw, makes the catch. The throw to third is cut off. Runners at the corners with 1 out. I still like the fact that Tommy Pham got himself in a position defensively, did everything right to make that play.
Yeah, we got his momentum coming forward. circles the ball a little bit to where he can get there. You see now he'll try and come in on it, have a little momentum going forward. Strong throw, but just a little offline, and that's why Munoz cut it off.
That's the first Indian to reach third base in this series. Yonder Alonso hitting .254 with 12 home runs.
Good success against Carlos too. 9 at bats, but 4 hits.
He's got to find a way to get left-handed batters out tonight.
Yep, we talked about it. How
7 of the 8 position players are hitting left from the left side.
5 lefties and 2 switch hitters.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Alonso. Ground ball. Foul.
Boy, that would have been sweet. Just holding the runner on, so he's right at the bag and able to catch that easily.
Well, again, you think about the cutter. Such an important pitch with all these lefties with a right-handed pitcher on the mound. Also had pitches up in the zone during these 4 games, looking back at some of the charts with that. Here's an 0-2 pitch. And another ground ball that's pulled foul. But you got to find something to neutralize a left-handed batter.
Well, his slider they hit 194 average against it. His cutter, it's 275. And cutter can be a very effective pitch when you stay on top of it and just can spot it. But when you get underneath it a little bit, it's a BP fastball.
Indians, the hardest team to double up in the American League. The 0-2 pitch. Hit out of play. Only the Yankees have hit more home runs than Cleveland, and it's already 23 pitches here in the first. Alonso, no DH, sat in the ball game last night. And tonight that's Edwin Encarnacion, all right-handed bench. Munoz, the shortstop, near the bag at second, outfield deep and straight away. Popped him up. Molina near the screen. Is it playable? It is. He gets the catch and the out.
Big pitch right there. Ooh. Thought for sure it was going to head in the stands, but he stayed with it.
Well, this is, if you're the Cardinals, you're saying, boy, he's got to put him away. They're going to let you off the hook potentially. They've got Kluber going, runs at a premium. Put him away, regroup. No home runs, .299 the average for Lonnie Chisenhall. He's driven in 4. Runners at first and third. Pham racing in. He won't get there. Drops in for a hit, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead. A 2-out RBI base hit by Chisenhall.
Just effectively placed right there, and they take that early 1-0 lead. The ball running back over the plate. If he would have hit it better, it's going to be an out, but we go back to the throw that allowed him to go to third. You see Carlos' reaction to the base hit and the 1-0 deficit.
There's Jason Kipnis batting .214 and a strike. Milwaukee in the bottom of the 6th, a 5-run lead over Kansas City, 5-0. Cincinnati leading their game again over the Atlanta Braves in the bottom of the 7th. That's 3-1. Kipnis, a base hit into right field. There's Bader. His throw to the plate, not in time, and it's 2-0.
Now he set up outside, and look at the ball is. His glove went back to the middle of the plate, down and in for a lefty, just right where they like it, a natural swing.
So back-to-back 2-out hits, 2-0 Cleveland, and here's Gomes. Runners at first and third. Kipnis at first with 2 stolen bases this year. It's turning into a very long top of the first, 28 pitches.
Carlos first showed up, he just was full of energy and excitement. And they wanted to tone it down a little bit for being a starter, but a lot of fire under him right now.
He's had only 1 swing and miss this inning. Which is also an indication of stuff.
Right.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. It's a strikeout. Cleveland gets a lead with 2 runs here in the top of the first. Corey Kluber to the mound for the bottom of the first. It'll be Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez coming up. 2-0 Cleveland. Off against Corey Kluber, atop most pitching categories in the American League. Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez. Ozuna, Molina, Munoz, Bader, Wong, and Martinez. May of 2015, worth repeating, franchise record for a 9-inning game. He had 18 strikeouts. That matched Bob Feller in 1938. Picked up the win, just 1 hit over 8 scoreless innings. You may recall that Johnny Peralta broke up Kluber's no-hitter in the 7th of that game. So you get the idea. He can be pretty darn tough. 84 runs of support. That's most for any starter in Major League Baseball, and already a 2-0 lead.
Remember when we sent Ludwig to San Diego? Well, that was a 3-player trade involving the Indians, Padres, and Cardinals. Jake Westbrook went to St. Louis. Ryan Ludwig went to San Diego, along with Nick Greenwood, and then Kluber went to Cleveland.
And he tied him up on that pitch. You will see an exceptional breaking pitch. I mean, it is hard. It drops, great movement and late movement.
And very tight and everything about it. But I remember when he struck out 18 against the Cardinals, we just were amazed.
And the 1-2 lifted in the air out to deep right. At the wall, and it's gone! Carpenter, home run! Cardinals on the board! And it's a 2-1 Cleveland lead. Chisenhall almost brought it back in. 18th career leadoff homer for Matt Carpenter.
And then one thing that I saw in Kluber's stats is he has allowed 14, now 15 home runs. A lot of innings, 111 2/3, but this is the 15th home run that he's allowed, and there you see how close Chisenhall was to bring it back in.
It was off his glove in the third leadoff home run this year, number 18 of his career. Now Tommy Pham. Matt Carpenter is now 3 behind Lou Brock for first place in terms of leadoff homers in Cardinals history. The 2-0 pitch. Line foul by Tommy Pham, who's missed the last couple of games with the flu. .21 of his 29 runs allowed are via the home run. That's the highest percentage in all of baseball. And a 2-2 pitch to Tommy Pham. Check swing and a foul back. Welcome back to the lineup. You get a 2-time Cy Young Award winner and Corey Kluber.
Yeah, good luck. But you know, Carlos got behind and they take a lead, but you know, Kluber's facing the offense.
And he did go. A strikeout of Pham. Let's turn to Al's Toyota key to the game.
Well, it's kind of appropriate right following a strikeout. We want to take the K out of Kluber. Mentioned the only time the Cardinals had faced him was back in 15, and he struck out at that time 18 batters, and that was the highest total for Cardinal strikeouts in a 9-inning game in their history.
Here's Jose Martinez. Last time out, Kluber pitched against the Chicago White Sox. 1 hit in 7 scoreless innings. He's given up just 9 earned and 53 1/3 coming into this start. That's over his last 8, 6-1. So it's a hot pitcher that you're seeing tonight. 0-2 the count on Martinez.
And you'll watch, you know, he'll be ahead in the count, and then he's got that wicked breaking ball, like you said, that it's hard to pick up and hard to keep from chasing it.
And the 0-2. Base hit into right. Jose Martinez on an 0-2 pitch.
Kluber's not going to really, I mean, he's going to throw 92, 93 miles an hour, but we talked about Jose at 6'7". He's a high ball hitter, and they tried to go up the ladder there, and it worked to his benefit.
One of the amazing stats about Corey Kluber, he's now won 37 consecutive games when he's been given a lead of 2 runs or more. In his career, 75-2
with 2 runs.
Yep.
Look at guys with 5 or 6 runs and not have that type of record.
So 2 on our score here in the bottom of the first. Solo home run by Carpenter. Strikeout of Pham. Martinez, the base hit to right on an 0-2 pitch. Ozuna swinging a hot bat here in the month of June. Picked up a double and got the Cardinals on the board first last night. Made it 2-0. Wong a double, made it 3-0. Bader a hit, 4-0, and that's the final from game 1. And the 1-1. Jim Hayes had an interview with Marcell Ozuna on the pregame show. First time that Marcell had appeared on the pregame one-on-one with Jim.
And look at what happened to the green neon sleeve.
Jim will have more on that.
He likes it, but it's off.
The strikeout of Ozuna. Indians defensively around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Brantley, Naquin, Chisenhall in the outfield. Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, Alonso on the infield. Behind the plate, Gomes. Here's Yadier Molina batting .270, 11 home runs, and he's driven in 31.
Tell Cardinal Nation it's okay to vote for Yachty, along with the other Cardinals, for the All-Star game.
Rick Horton and Scott Warman were talking about that on the pregame show. Both hits tonight for the Cardinals with 2 strikes. One of the things that's been down this year for Kluber is strikeout rate. And Molina sends it in the air out to left center field, and it is caught. Brantley with the catch. Matt Carpenter, home run number 14. Gets the Cardinals on the board. 2-1 after one. With Scott Rowland, 19th place all time in Cardinals history. 111 home runs. Next up, Silent George Hendrick at 122. All right, Jim Hayes. Marcell Ozuna does have the compression sleeve on. It is white. What happened to the neon?
He has that too, and he's worn the white before. It's funny because Marcell has had a monster June, but still the #1 question I get about Marcell is about his neon compression sleeve. Some people are chafed by it like Al, others don't care. We had Marcell on the pregame show. He told me about how he came to wear the neon. He said in spring training of 2017, I saw Yoenis Cespedes wearing it, and I liked it, so I got one and had a great season and kept wearing it. He told me he was not aware of the uproar the neon sleeve had caused on some fronts, but he assured me it's not going anywhere. He will wear the white from time to time like he is tonight, but he told me everyone has red or white. I want something different. I love it. The neon compression sleeve, Dan.
Jimmy, is there any reason why you had to wear yours doing interviews?
Well, Dan, as you know, in regional cable journalism, and you're doing a one-on-one interview, you want to keep the subject as calm and collected. And so I wore a neon compression sleeve too, just to sort of relax him and relate to him one-to-one as a human being. That's how it goes sometimes.
And his reaction to you wearing that sleeve?
He loved it. He thought it was funny, and he understood that we were going to ask him some questions about it. So I think he got a kick out of it. To be honest, that was the first time we sat down with him in that kind of setting, had a little time with him. He's got a great personality, a wonderful smile, and I think Cardinal fans want to see more of that.
Absolutely. And take care of that elbow when you hold that. I'm glad to have that compression sleeve. You know, you got the microphone. I'm sure it's helped you, so that's a good thing.
Well, there's some ligament issues, Dan, but I'm going to grind through it.
Good stuff as always from the Cat, Jim Hayes. Here's Tyler Naquin, and there's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Martinez.
Can I go on the record and say I have no problem with the sleeve? I just mentioned the fact that it's not a Cardinal color, but if he wants to wear it, makes him feel better, go right ahead.
I get a lot of people asking me about it too. They want the dark neon, or they, you know, they're talking about the white or maybe the red. Here's the 0-1. And it's 0-2 on Kluber. And a swing and a miss, so 3 strikeouts in a row. 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot now open and exclusively online, so make sure your favorite Cardinals are represented on this year's squad. Vote at cardinals.com/vote. All-Star Game presented by MasterCard, July 17th, live on Fox. And the top of the lineup, Francisco Lindor. Single to center to start the night on a 3-2 pitch. Scored on the base hit by Chisenhall. In the air out to shallow left, and Marcell Ozuna. 12-pitch inning. We're midway through 2. Cardinals have Munoz, Bader, and Wong coming up. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. I got to the ballpark at about 2:30, and I'd say by 3:30, 4 o'clock, it was starting to get dark.
Very
Storms
dark.
Rolled in.
Just like that, right over Stan. We've had some rain the last week or so.
Here's Jairo Munoz batting .280. Greg Garcia's gotten the last 2 starts at short. Munoz back in there tonight.
It's done a nice job. And Paul DeYoung getting closer. Big doctor's appointment Thursday. And I think if they say everything's healing well, that he'll be able to go out on a rehab this weekend.
The fewest pitches per inning in all of baseball. Number 1, Corey Kluber, 14.2. Right behind him, the Cardinals' Miles Michaelis, 14.6. Now Kluber's number, though, I think is even more impressive when you consider that he's a high strikeout pitcher.
Sure. And we know how much Michaelis is a control master and how few walks. Kluber's walked fewer. Kluber's been the stingiest, and then Michaelis is number 2 in all of baseball in walking fewest.
Kluber had 19 pitches in the first inning and a 2-2 here. Lined and a base hit for Jairo Munoz. That's 3 Cardinals hits.
I think the Cardinals, you can almost think about their approach is they know he's got that slider, they got the breaking ball, so they're conscious and they're looking for something they can drive to the opposite field.
Almost as if it's a 2-strike approach.
Yeah, and Martinez and Munoz, both right-handed batters, both took the ball to the opposite field.
It's tough to tell with that shot as to whether or not he's even on the pitching rubber. He's on the exaggerated side of the first base side of the pitching rubber.
I could see it when he pushed off, but
he's barely on
it and making contact with it.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Bader. And it's 2-0.
I can't tell you how much better the mounds are today than when I pitched on them. Much better surface. You know, it's a lot harder, and you very rarely do you see the big landing holes that we used to have to encounter.
And that's hit out of play.
Now they're digging at it so he can get a little more of a hole to push off on.
There's a drying agent right now that's on the mound. There's clay, there's dirt all mixed in, a little bit of sand. Try to pack it down. See on the right toe, if you will. He's got the rubber so that the shoe just doesn't wear out and go right through to the toe. Many pitchers have that.
Well, they all should.
Two balls and one strike. Two and two. Kluber has not seen a stolen base against him when he's been on the mound this year.
Hasn't had that many base runners.
In fact, he hasn't had one stolen against him in 185 2/3 innings.
Pretty good.
The 2-2 pitch. Visiting with those that cover the Indians day in and day out, they say number one, very good move. Two, he's quick to the plate. Good thrower behind the plate. So combination, not many base hits against him. All that comes into play with those numbers. He's had only 2 walks in his last 57 innings. The 3-2 pitch here. And a rare walk. Look at that. Kluber, Michaelis, Cologne, lowest walk percentage in baseball. The batter is Colton Wong. First 2 have reached here in the home half of the second. The double last night hit down the left field line. And he was Jim Hayes' guest on the post-game show on the field. Runners at first and second. Wong off the glove of Alonso to first. He beats that out and knocks over the first base umpire, Larry Vanover, who's also the crew chief. Guccione, Vanover, Rackley, and Wendelstedt, the umpires here tonight. Nice open field tackle by Colt Wong.
That's absolutely right. Nice job by Kipnis to get it over there and see that. Watch him turn his head right into him.
Crowd trying to make some noise. Bases loaded, nobody out. Inning started with a base hit to right by Munoz. Bader the walk. Infield hit by Colton Wong. Makes me think of the All-Star game in Seattle a few years ago. Tommy Lasorda going on his backside. Yes. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Carlos Martinez. 2-0. Kluber, the fewest base runners per 9 in Major League Baseball, just over 7 a game. The Cards are ready with 5 in an inning and a third. Last Cardinals pitcher to hit a grand slam was Jake Westbrook. 2011, he did that off of Randy Wolf.
And that shocked everyone.
Little tapper out in front of the plate. It rolls, rolls, rolls. Foul.
If Carlos Martinez hit a grand slam, we would, mildly surprised. But Jake Westbrook hitting one, that
gets
surprised the heck out of us and Jake.
Carlos with a home run earlier this year against the Phillies, his first ever big league homer. It happened on a Thursday afternoon against Philadelphia.
Swing so hard, just trying to center the ball.
The 2-2. Martinez hits it out to center. Naquin the catch. Throw goes into third. Run scores. We've got a new game. It's 2-2. RBI number 3 for Carlos Martinez.
Help your own cause. You see the dot a little bit bigger as now the pitch that's up over the middle of the plate.
Second career sac fly for Martinez. First was back in 2016. Here's Carpenter, who hit a solo home run back in the first inning.
Take away the first 6 weeks, and Carpenter's having a heck of a year.
Cardinal pitchers now combined with 8 runs driven in. Second most by the pitchers in all of Major League Baseball.
And when Tony La Russa came to the National League, he said, pitchers hit, so I'm going to give them a chance. And that has continued all the batting practice that they get on a daily basis, the starters. And it has made a difference.
0-1 pitch. 0-2. Last year, Adam Wainwright, a Silver Slugger Award winner. Back in the first, in and out of the glove of Chisenhall. That's one he'd like to have back.
Yeah. They designed the outfield walls. They made the fences short enough that you could go over and bring some home runs back in.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Cardinals tonight with 2 strikes. Have 3 hits, a walk, and a sac fly. It's telling, thinking about how good the stuff might be of Kluber to put people away tonight.
It was a 1-2 count like it is right now when he hit the home run leading off the first.
He has an incredible eye. How do you take that pitch? And it showed it's a ball, but not by much.
I think that's what frustrated him last year is he does have such a good eye, and so many times he was called out on strikes, and where the pitch track would show that he was correct, not the umpire.
And the 2-2. Got very good speed on the bases. Colton Wong at first base. Harrison Bader at second. The center fielder Naquin is very deep, and a big gap into left center.
Wouldn't that be nice? Fox Go sign out there in left center would be perfect.
3 ball counts to 3 of the last 5 hitters. 3-2 pitch. Fouled back, and a good cut by Carpenter.
See 42 pitches already for Kluber. So you would think you'd get into that bullpen, and if you can get into it, that is one of the problem areas for the Cleveland Indians.
This will be the 23rd pitch of the inning. 3-2. Carpenter rips it into right, a sinking liner. Bader touch third to the plate, diving in and scores. It's a 3-2 St. Louis lead with an odd turn around third base for Bader.
I think what kind of got him off stride, Danny, is he was like took off at contact, and then he checked to see and wasn't sure that ball was going to get down or not, whether he'd have to go back to second. And then he restarted and got his stride messed up. Another hard hit ball by Carp. And watch, see, there's where he had the stutter step, and then he kind of got a little bit off stride and almost missed the bag, but he got the third base bag, and it comes in safe.
Love to watch him run.
It is fun, isn't it?
Great speed. Carpenter 2 for 2. And already activity in the Cleveland bullpen. Otero, a right-hander, starts to throw. So clearly they don't like something they're seeing here with Corey Kluber.
Well, Corey Kluber tonight is not the guy we saw May of 2015 when he struck out 18.
His shortest outing of the year, 5 innings. And that was back on June 15th against Minnesota. Now Tommy Pham with runners at first and second. Pulled foul. Matt Carpenter already the 5th time this year with 2 extra base hits in a single game. Yep, check that, the single there to right field. Got ahead of myself thinking doubles with Carp.
But 2 RBIs with already in this game off of one of the best.
Pham with a fly ball into center. Naquin back, makes the catch. Wong tags up from second to third. And runners at the corners now for Jose Martinez. Well, now that you've been given the lead, this is where you want to see vintage Carlos Martinez, who had a pretty good second inning.
I thought I saw a difference in him in the second inning, to the point where, you know, we've established that he's had trouble in the first inning where he was almost too casual, and then he looked right in the second inning, and it was much better, more efficient.
Cardinals looking again for some 2-out magic. All 4 runs scored in the ball game last night came with 2 outs. Hit out of play. Martinez singled to right field on an 0-2 pitch back in the first. Lowe's whole team together, most runs scored with 2 outs in the National League this year. Atlanta, Milwaukee, the Reds, Cubs, and then the Cardinals.
Seemed like Kluber's been getting underneath a lot of his pitches tonight. Some of them elevated, but not having the downward action.
1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, deep left. Did he get enough? At the wall, gone! Martinez, 3-run bomb off of Kluber.
Home run, RBIs up to 50 now, and that'll be it for Kluber. So we did not see the pitcher that one of the best in the American League tonight. It's just one of those rough outings for him, and Terry Francona is going to take him out right now.
Hit it as high as he did long.
Boy, you're 6'7", you get that uppercut swing and got a pitch there and just runs out of room, and the last 2 home runs have both been 3-run jobs.
Shortest start of his career. We did not see this coming. Otero coming on. Martinez, the knockout blow. 6-2, Cardinals on top. Kluber in his career. Previous outing that was close to this was 2 innings he lasted against San Diego. Dan Otero is the new pitcher. And he faces Marcell Ozuna. The Cardinals knock out Kluber. And it's a 6-2 St. Louis lead. Ozuna struck out back in the first inning. What has normally been a dominant spot, the bullpen of Cleveland, has not necessarily been the case this year. Now they are dealing with some injuries. Most notable would be Andrew Miller. Look at that. A year ago, first 2.89 the bullpen ERA, and this year 28th in baseball. It's over 5. Ozuna chops it to third. Ramirez up with it, and he makes the play. Cardinals pick up 5. Colton Wong. Carpenter the base hit to right. That brought in a run. And Jose Martinez, as long as it was hit high. Home run. Cap off a 5-run inning for the Cardinals. They knock out Kluber, his 12th of the year, and he's now up to 50 driven in. What a difference 3 years and 44 days can make. 8 innings, 18 strikeouts by Corey Kluber against the Cardinals back on May 13th of 2015. And tonight, inning in 2/3, 6 hits, a walk, 2 home runs. But now he has Martinez to settle in and do his job.
Yeah, exactly right. That's Carlos. Teammates got you this lead. Now go and take care of business. You're right. He was much better the second inning.
There's a leadoff base hit by Michael Brantley. One more footnote to Kluber. 29 pitches in that second inning, the most he's thrown in an inning since July 29th of 2017. We did not expect that.
No, we didn't, and you might find out that there's circumstances why he was not as good as we thought he would be tonight.
There's Ramirez, or it could be just, you know what, one of those nights.
Yeah, I mean,
it happens, even to the best of them. Now, last night we had the delay, and both starters actually got loose and hot before the rain hit. Then had to gear it up back again, where the case was tonight. It just was delayed by an hour and 26 minutes, but a normal routine to get loose.
Yeah, and you were told that, okay, there is going to be a delay, so it wasn't like you threw a full bullpen and then had to sit for an hour plus.
And a grounder pulled foul, 0-2. Ramirez flied to center first time up. Wins above replacement. Ramirez 4.7. Only Mike Trout is better. So that gives you an idea of how good he has been this year. Switch hitter at third base tonight.
Danny, look at his switch hitting from the right side 299, from the left side 295.
Little bio here on the switch hitting Ramirez. Signed as a amateur free agent in 2009. He's won a Silver Slugger. And sends it out to center. Catch made by Tommy Pham. The Carlos Martinez bobblehead coming up. The mystery hair bobblehead Saturday, June 30th. Cardinals.com/promotions. Been watching Cardinals baseball. You've seen that commercial which features the great and talented Mark Walsh.
Yes.
Mark works in the clubhouse of the Cardinals. Been doing so for so many years, and a great friend of all of us, and as good a job he does, he's a better person.
He really is. He's helped us many a time, and might have a career in acting the way
he's pretty good at
facial expressions in that little commercial is really good.
There's Yonder Alonso, and a 1-0 pitch. Instead, Martinez a throw over to Jose Martinez. Change up, taken low, 2 balls and no strikes.
This game is far from over.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times when you have an elite pitcher like Kluber and doesn't have a good game, you know, his teammates kind of sit there and say, hey, he's been so good for us, we're going to take him off the hook. So they're not going to just lay down.
And the 2-0 pitch catches the inside corner.
Just running anything on the hands of all these left-handed batters.
The 2-1 pitch to Yonder Alonso. Yanks it down the right field line. Hooking and foul. Last 4 games he's gone 7 for 17 and he's driven in 6.
Signed as a free agent from San Diego to Cleveland.
Souvenir for that young lady. Got the poncho out.
Yeah, the ponchos.
Stayed through the rain delay. And the 2-2 pitch, Martinez to Alonso. And a base hit just over Wong and into right field. 2 hits in the inning. Chisenhall will be the batter.
97-mile-an-hour fastball. Look like he set up away, and again, just not as bad, but location more in the middle of the plate and down. Left-handed hitters love it there.
So runners at first and second. We've seen Martinez shaking off the breaking pitch. A lot of change-ups. Keep an eye on his velocity here tonight as well.
Some 98s. Well, the velocity's been fine, but it's just so many off-speed pitches. You know, a lot of times early in the game, you're going to try and establish your fastball, and then after that, you'll mix in your off-speed pitches. They almost went backwards. But everybody raves about Yachty's game plan.
And it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and 2 on. Got underneath that pitch, and it's 2-2. It's been a battle here tonight again for Carlos Martinez. With the pitch count, next pitch at 60, you're going to see the bullpen at some point tonight, probably sooner than later. The 2-2 just got a piece of it to stay alive. The 2-2. When you think about ground balls with Martinez, 10th in baseball, induced 11 ground ball double plays, and that's even with his stint on the DL. He's in the top 10.
And no ground balls tonight.
Kipnis is on deck. And the 3-2 pitch by Carlos Martinez. Fouled back.
This rate is going to be 5 innings at max.
th pitch of the inning coming. And the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Martinez.
Oh, good battle here, and finally throws a fastball right by him. Chisenhall was out about 2 months with a calf injury. Same injury he had a year ago.
So Kipnis, 2 out, base hit to right, picked up an RBI back in the first inning. I mentioned how he holds a bat last night. Unique batting style to start. Lays it flat. Hitting .217 on the year. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Good changeup.
All of his pitches a little bit better, but
and the 1-1 tied him up 1-2.
mannerism on the mound much better than there in the first inning.
When you think about it, on the other side, you got your ace going, and all of a sudden he's knocked out. You got to play catch up again on the road. Here's a 1-2. Kipnis hits a fly ball out to left. Catch made by Marcell Ozuna. Scoreless inning here at the top of the third. Molina, Munoz, and Bader coming up. The Kubota Power Stats. Yadier Molina ranks among National League catchers. Tied for first in home runs. Second in slugging percentage. Third in runs batted in. And he's missed 26 games. Vote him to the All-Star game. The Kubota Power Stats for Yadier Molina.
Yeah, he had the surgery and missed those 26 games. You just have to wonder the way he was swinging the bat before and now, how much more production he would have put up on those on the board there.
I was talking with Michael Gersh the other day, and they run the players through a battery of tests all the time. So they test their strength. Are they wearing down? Is sleep an issue? Nutrition? I mean, all of it. And they are just amazed at the age of 35 at the level that he's at and getting better. They also said he's the toughest player they've ever seen. And Molina hits it down the right field line and out of play.
I remember Last year he took exception to Mike Matheny saying he was tired, and he goes, I trained all year so I could play all season.
And the 0-2 is put in play to Francisco Lindor. They just stayed on the video board here at the ballpark. Myriad of highlights throughout the years. Cardinals picked up a historic win last night, number 10,000 in regular season play since 1892. I was honored. The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum asked for my scorecard.
Really, very good.
So it's headed over to the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. And when my kids get bored and they wonder what I was doing all those nights in the summer, they can find out, well, there he was for game number 10,000 in the win column.
Wouldn't be able to read any of your analyst scorecards.
I have no idea the chicken scratch that you put together.
Hey, it's very, very, it's got a method to the madness.
Everybody has a different way, it seems like, of keeping score. John Gant picked up the win. The ball was authenticated. It was caught by Greg Garcia, who stepped on the bag for a double play. My understanding is somehow it made its way to Colton Wong, who then gave it to Mike Matheny. And Mike said he's got someone special he'd like to give it to, and we'll see if it's the owner of the Cardinals.
I think it would be appropriate.
2-2. Cardinals infield tonight is 6 for 6. Couple of home runs, a double. But the infield has done the job tonight at the plate. That includes Munoz with a base hit to right field back in the second inning.
I say now you put the pressure on Munoz to make it 7 for 7.
Ouch. Previous pitch caught the catcher. This one got Munoz.
Like running around the ankle. It's the front leg.
Greg Garcia just ran into the clubhouse. That's all the Cardinals need. Another injury. Had plenty of those.
Yeah, we have. And I was looking. Currently, we got like 4 relievers on the disabled list.
My understanding is there's going to be a talk on Friday over at the Hall of Fame and Museum about facial hair in baseball. And I'm being serious.
I know, because they asked me about it.
Are you going to speak, or they just look for background?
No, it just some of the things that they have in the bowels of the museum. But one was, we used to have the equitable old timers games, and I used to. At that time, I was clean shaven, so I donned a wig and a Fu Manchu, and they have it over there. And they were asking about the story about it, and that'll be part of the discussion.
Vern Rapp, will he be part of it?
I was very nice to Mr. Rapp and what I had to say, but he'll be part of it. Do you know how mustaches kind of came into vogue? I think it was 1973. Charlie Finley and the A's.
I was going to guess the A's.
He had a mustache contest. He told the team early in the season, we're going to have a mustache contest in September. Like Dal Maxwell was on the team. He goes, I'm not growing a mustache. Well, he paid all the players $300. So Maxie grew a mustache. That's how $300 could get the entire team to grow a mustache. That's how Raleigh Fingers got the handlebar and everything. And it was part of the origin. In 1973, we were playing very well, in the middle of the year. And Orlando Pena, one of the relievers, said, let's all grow mustaches and we will have an all mustachioed World Series. Well, the ball club, I had a good September, but the ball club didn't. We'd win one, we'd lose one. Just never put a winning streak together. We lost out in the last week of the season. I went to winter ball and I kept a mustache. Started the 74 season, shaved it off, had a horrible first half, and kind of almost was going to be sent down to the minor leagues, and Jack Buck told me, he said, Simmons saved you. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, well, they were going to send you down, but somebody asked Ted and said, what's wrong with Al? And he said, don't worry, he'll figure it out. So that was the start of the Mad Hungarian stuff. It was all done for me. But I started growing the mustache. I said, well, I had a good second half with it, started growing it. And I remember I saved a game in Philadelphia, just had like the All-Star break in the first series on the road, had this mustache growing, or facial hair growing, and one of the interviewers had a Fu Manchu and said, why don't you grow a Fu Manchu? And that's as simple as it started.
That's how it got going.
That's how it got started.
And we can thank Charlie Finley.
Yeah, I mean, still the Yankees, I think, and Cincinnati, you can't have facial hair.
That's right. What a battle here with Munoz.
As he's limping all over the place.
That's 11 pitches in the at-bat. He has fouled off 6, 2 off his body.
And Otero, he doesn't walk any right-handed batters. I mean, he's walked just 7 of 360 right-handed batters since the start of 2016. So he's going to keep on firing strikes. Even Jose is appreciative.
13th pitch of the at-bat coming up right here.
You know what you never see anymore? Thinking about guy fouling the pump. All the trainers used to carry that cylinder of, I believe it was ethyl chloride, that would freeze, that they spray right on. And something you never see anymore. That was about the only thing high tech we had.
And a grounder that's hit to short. Lindor makes the play, but still. Nice round of applause for Munoz, who's limping now down that right field line.
Good battle.
It's a 14 pitch at bat right there. Similar to what we saw in game 1 with Harrison Bader. It's Adam Olson to tend to Munoz. The aforementioned Bader now. And a strike. Francisco Pena will help interpret with Adam Olson. And the 0-1. High chopper. Bader will beat this out. No chance for Lindor. And Bader on base for the second time. A walk and now an infield hit.
Makes things happen, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
The Alumni Association has that Heart and Hustle Award. You get a ballot. And I voted for Bader.
This day and age, and I don't care if you're watching Cardinals baseball or any game across the league, you will not see guys hustle, run down the line, an effort.
Well, there's an example too, Danny, of just put the ball in play and good things can happen.
Yep. I'm not saying it's every player, but I bet in every game you will see somebody ground out, and you won't see much of an effort down the line. I can't remember the last time I said, well, Harrison Bader's jogging down the line. I don't think I've ever said it.
And I don't think we will.
Fans appreciate it.
Oh, no doubt.
Simple groundouts, hustle.
And could we put ourselves in that same category as fans and broadcasters that
effort?
You never embarrass yourself if you hustle.
They just helped Munoz, by the way, down the steps back into the clubhouse. You'd have to assume then that Greg Garcia is going to come in. 3-0.
Which makes that at bat even more impressive because you know it was certain.
3-1. At times we'll see the high leg kick of a Colton Wong and a 3-1 count. Try to do some damage, not always, but sometimes. Like that. A drive into right. It's at the wall. Gone! Colton Wong on a 3-1 pitch. The high leg kick and a high drive into right.
Hopefully that 2-hit game gets Colton going, get him over 200 and let him take off. But his 6th home run, RBI total 14 and 15, and no doubt about it, to the back of the Cardinal bullpen. He knew it too.
Eight to 2 Cardinals. Here's Martinez. And the 1-0 pitch popped up, foul territory. Alonso over and out of play.
Every time I watch Carlos hit, I worry more about him hurting himself swinging.
I watched in a bat last night with Dylan Betances, a reliever of the Yankees. And he had the bat wiggle like Gary Sheffield and then swung like Gary Sheffield. And, you know, the players are laughing in the dugout, and I'm thinking, you better hope he doesn't get hurt.
Right. He's a big man, too.
And that's tap foul. So the Cardinals have home runs from their first baseman, Martinez, their second baseman, Wong, and their third baseman, Matt Carpenter.
And you saw Greg Garcia with a glove, so most assured he's going to be going in for Munoz.
Inside and low. And he got a piece of that one, and Gomes is getting beat up.
Pitches and this at bat.
And the 2-2 slowly hit to Lindor, and Martinez looked back at his hand just to make sure it was all right. Not real comfortable running to the first base bag. Colton Wong with a 2-run homer on a 3-1 pitch, looking to do some damage, and he did. 8-2 Cardinals. In less than 60 days, he'll join Major Golf's strongest field for one of the biggest celebrations in golf, the 100th PGA Championship. The Centennial Club remains the only way to guarantee a seat for the weekend rounds. Milestone event at Belle Reve Country Club in St. Louis. Visit PGAchampionship.com for tickets and more information. The Gomes, Naquin, and Kluber's spot, which was then occupied by the reliever Otero, so we'll see a pinch hitter more than likely. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, Carlos Martinez had struggled in his 4 previous starts since coming off the DL, but Mike Matheny told me he's seen progress. Matheny says Carlos is starting to get it back on track. Mike said it's hard going on the DL and not competing, then getting it back. It sounds like it should be easier than it actually is. Matheny knows the numbers from Carlos's last 4 starts aren't good, but he says there is more to it. Mike told me he's taking positive steps forward. Each one has been a little better, even though the results in the last one weren't what he wanted. His stuff was looking much more like Carlos. And Dan, we're not seeing that pitcher's duel that we thought we'd see tonight.
Absolutely not. Martinez still in the game. Kluber out. And Carlos tonight, recently he's just gotten beat up on a lot of pitches up in the zone. His slider hasn't had the bite that he had prior to going on the DL. And here's Tyler Naquin. And a strike.
Oh, you have the 10-day disabled list now. And when I played, there was 1 disabled list, and it was 21 days.
And a grounder hit to Garcia, who's in there for Munoz. 2 away.
And you didn't have, you couldn't go down on a rehab and get yourself back in playing shape. So when you went off the DL, you had to be ready to play when they took you off. Also, it's funny, but guys didn't go on the DL until it was like the last year or 2. It was kind of an indication that your body's starting to break down. Now, it's multiple. Young kids go on it multiple times. Tomlin in the bullpen. Geyer, our pinch hitter.
One and 2 the count. Geyer used as a pinch hitter in game 1. And a strikeout, 97 on the gun for Martinez. That's strikeout number 5. Top of the lineup for the Cardinals coming up.
Corey Kluber, you'll notice here, you just don't see that downward bite, and some pitches up in our Budweiser plays of the game and the hits tonight for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the ball was up and just flat, just kind of spinning, or the left-handed hitters, it was down and in their wheelhouse, so just so unusual for him, so good to have this rough of an outing. Gosh, Tomlin, he started in the rotation, got off to a really rocky start. He was 0-3 with an 8 ERA. He had 6 starts, 30 innings, 43 hits, 27 earned runs, 15 home runs allowed. But of late, he's pitched very well out of the bullpen. Last 7 outings, it's got an ERA at 1.08.
Carpenter leading things off in the home half of the 4th. His OPS now, on base plus slugging, is at 846. His career 837. And he's in the top, I believe, 5 or 6 all time among leadoff men in OPS.
And that's with his rocky start.
And he serves it into right, and that's a base hit. 3 for 3. A rocky start to be sure for Matt Carpenter, but boys, he picked it up.
Look at 140 on May 15th, and look at that, just keep on going up and up and up. And producing too. He leads the club in home runs. His RBI totals up to 35. Average keeps on creeping up there. 3 hits tonight, 3 for 3.
And the Cardinals now with 9 hits. Average up to 254 for Matt Carpenter with his 3 for 3. Pham 0 for 2. He has struck out and also flied to center. I tweeted this out earlier, Al, but Steven Piscotty currently with a 22-game on-base streak, 329 average. He scored 15 runs. I'm pulling for Steven.
I saw your tweet, and I thought it was very nice, and I was really happy to hear of his success.
There's a ground ball that's hit to short. Lindor, it goes under his glove, and that'll be his 11th error on the year.
Yeah, that caught my attention too. That he had 10 previous errors, and we know how good a fielder he is. But maybe in a game like this, a little lack of concentration. But you know, that's kind of a do-or-die play, and ball just goes off the fingertips of his glove. Didn't come up for him.
He had 10 errors all of last season. Gold Glover in 2016, so a bit surprising. 11 errors, and now Tommy Pham is aboard. Here's Martinez, who's 2 for 2. Single to right on an 0-2 pitch in the first, and a 3-run homer back in the second inning.
Was it yesterday or the day before that Randall Grichuk had a good game, hit a home run, and then had a game-saving catch? Took a home run away from down in Houston, his hometown.
I think the home run was measured at 471 feet and then leaped high above the wall to take a home run back. And that was from George Springer.
That would have tied the game in the 9th inning.
Cardinals, you got to give them a lot of credit. To the 2 games, the first 2 in Milwaukee, this is a team that could have folded. Blown out. Then they play a very good game behind Flaherty, who's got a no-hitter in the 7th. They lose it. They give up a total of 3 hits. They come back, win the final 2, win last night, knock Kluber out early in this game. Got to give credit where credit's due.
You know, sometimes that's the beauty of baseball, that you play so many games that you can have that short memory, and you can erase a bad taste in your mouth and come out and, as a team, everybody look in the mirror and say, what can I do to change the atmosphere? And whatever happened, they've changed it. The offense has come alive also, and you've got the good starting pitching, and that sets up the bullpen if you get a good start.
And a swing and a miss by Jose Martinez. Jairo Munoz, official word from the Cardinals is left ankle contusion. Runners at first and second. And the batter will be Marcell Ozuna. Really enjoyed his chat on the pregame show with Jim.
He does have a big personality. And even from day one of spring training, he just fit in that clubhouse very well.
Cardinals 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. And a strike to Ozuna. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. Ozuna 0 for 2. And that's a base hit into left field.
Jose Oquendo holding up Carpenter. The bases will be loaded for Yadier Molina.
The good June continues for Osuna.
109 miles per hour off the bat. Inning started with a base hit to right by Carpenter. Pham reached on an error. Strikeout of Martinez. Ozuna base hit to left. And they're loaded up for Yadier Molina. The owner of 5 grand slams.
Is how Yadi can make a statement, trying to help those numbers for the All-Star game.
Here's a 1-0. Tapped foul. Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, it's Michael Wendelstedt, third base umpire. Fair ball until right the last. I think they're on the line and then goes foul as it goes past the bag.
Folks in section 165 taking in a bases loaded situation with 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike on Cardinals catcher Yadier Molina. Fly to left, grounded out to short. Pretty deep in center. That's Naquin. In the air, left center. Naquin over near the track and makes the catch. 2 runners will tag up, make it 3. A run will score. That's Carpenter. All 3 move up. And the Cardinals add to their lead. It's RBI number 32 for Yadier Molina. 9-2 our score.
You mentioned that Naquin, the center fielder, was playing very deep, and that helped him get over on this ball. Just got underneath it a little bit, and so he got more of a pop-up. Good to see all the runners tag up in advance.
It'll be an unearned run for Tomlin after the error by Lindor. Runners at second and third, and here's Greg Garcia, first plate appearance. Matt Carpenter, by the way, with 3 runs scored tonight, 3 of the 9.
You mentioned with Garcia playing the last couple days, you know, he feels like he's got a fighting chance. A lot of times when you sit for so long, you know, you get up there and you get that pinch hitter and you feel like you got to make up for a weeks of production and you've been sitting. Kind of like the loneliest guy on the team right now is Francisco Pena. Because Yadi's just been played every day on the trip, every day of this homestand.
And the 1-2 taken high. So Garcia was the backup middle infielder in this ball game. Now you'd have to say it'd be Jed Jerko, who's on the bench. Cardinals down to 3 on their bench. Jerko, Pena, the backup catcher, and Dexter Fowler. And the 2-2 pitch. Had him out in front, and he struck him out. Carpenter has scored 3 runs tonight. It's 9-2 as we head to inning number 5. Verlander, Garrett Cole,
The list goes on and on. Dallas Keuchel's had a down year by his standards, but they can flat out pitch. It's a good team in Houston. 76 pitches tonight now for Carlos Martinez. Francisco Lindor is 1 for 2. This will be the third time through the lineup.
Carlos retired 5 in a row now.
Lindor has scored 64 runs this season, most in baseball. And the last Indians player to lead Major League Baseball in runs scored, Grady Sizemore. He did that in 2006. That's foul. And it's a ball in 2 strikes. Lance McCullers also part of that Houston pitching. It's outside, and it's 3-2. Martinez, when runners are not on base, is one of the fastest workers in all of baseball. It's about 14 seconds per pitch. There's a good changeup. Picks up the strikeout. That's number 6.
Just good arm action and everything. He always has that same motion where he falls towards first base, but it's looked completely different than he did there in the first inning.
Gave up 3 hits in the first, walked a man, and a couple of runs. Cardinals have come back with 9 unanswered. They lead at 9-2. Martinez's first game was 6 or more strikeouts since back on April 21st against Cincinnati. Wong, nice play on coming in and charging. That's not an easy play.
Not an easy play, and a lot of people think that you don't have to have a strong arm to play second base, but you got a lot of plays like this, or racing out into the outfield and have to reverse course and throw, almost a do-or-die play, and comes in, he fields it very well, angles his body, a little jump in there to get his alignment to where he can throw the ball back behind towards first base.
It's a short hop, too, so soft hands thrown across his body. Coming full speed is Jose Ramirez, who is 0 for 2. 1 ball and 1 strike. Indians have 9 hits in the series, and all 9 have been singles for a team that comes in with a lot of firepower.
Martinez started this series tied for the Major League lead with his 23 home runs.
Ozuna with the catch, and a 1-2-3 for Carlos Martinez. That's now 8 in a row. To our score, we play in the bottom of 5. Bader, Wong, and Martinez for St. Louis against Josh Tomlin, the third pitcher for Cleveland. His tenure in Cleveland, he's been in their rotation at one point, now working out of the pen. Bader, 2 runs scored, a walk, and an infield hit. And the 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Cincinnati over the Atlanta Braves by the final of 5-3. Cubs are tied 1-1. 5th inning out at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers have hit a ton of home runs this month, especially Jock Peterson. The 2-2. Bader puts it in play, hustling down the line, and they get him by a step. Sunday, September 9th, you can join gold medalist Jackie Joyner-Kersee for the Cardinals Care 6K to benefit area children. Enjoy an on-course slip and slide, finish on the field, dugout photos, race shirt, and stay for the post-race watch party. Get it now at cardinals.com/6K. One of the main fundraisers for Cardinals Care. And Wong on the first pitch, skies it into left. Michael Brantley with the catch for out number 2. First time that Colton Wong has been retired with a single and a 2-run homer. And here's Carlos Martinez. Home runs hit in the month of June, by the way. The Dodgers have hit 48. Next closest team, the Yankees, with 38.
A lot of home runs.
Sure is. Yankees, in that ballpark and those sluggers, you anticipate home runs. This will be a quick inning, a 7-pitch inning for Josh Tomlin. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Our Budweiser What's on Tap, Jack Flaherty is coming up, and last time out, sensational, 13 strikeouts, second time he's done that this year, and will come your way tomorrow at 6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest.
Pretty dominant for his last 3 starts. ERA under 1, like you said, had the 13 strikeouts last time out. That equaled his career high. He had that twice this year.
And the first pitch is strike by Martinez.
Could possibly be his last inning of work, so make it efficient. End it on a positive note.
And the 1-1 pitch popped up. It's Matt Carpenter with the catch. Alonso retired to start play here in the 6th. You would like to think this is the kind of start that Martinez builds upon and finishes well, and things start going in the right direction.
I totally agree, and I'm sure Mike Maddox is going to talk to him about that first inning. Still trying to figure out how to, get him ready for that first inning. It was a problem last year, and it's been off and on this year at times.
He's retired 9 in a row and 14 of the last 16. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
It just seems like whenever a guy has a good game, there is a long streak of where he tires a lot of batters.
Shallow right center, racing in Pham, and he can't come up with it. Backing up Bader. He overran it, and now Wong has it. So base hit for Chisenhall, and he's 2 for 3.
Not about hitting them where they aren't. But Pham rustling all the way, shading a little bit to left field, comes in here, tries to make the shoestring catch. Bader right there protecting him. That's something else too, Danny, is you got to have that, the corner outfielders got to back up those plays. And just by doing so, you'll keep the runner at first base. He won't take a chance.
Strike to Kipnis. Cleveland came into this series 4th in baseball in extra base hits. And so far, no extra base hits through about a game and a half here in St. Louis. And the 1-1 pitch to Kipnis.
Yeah, the Cardinals have hit 3 home runs, but the rest of their hits, they have 10 on the night, have all been singles also. A couple sac flies. You know, there's a lot of different ways to score if you put the ball in play.
2-2, really selling that off-speed pitch now. Also getting it down in the zone.
And let's see if he can't induce the ground ball double play and get out of here under 100 pitches.
And a swing and a miss. Strikeout of Kipnis, number 7 tonight for Carlos Martinez.
Yachty set up outside, but another pitch missing location, but a good one. Slider down and in.
Mike Myers throwing in the Cardinals bullpen. Crowd tonight 40,288 for 0-2-8-8. Here's Gomes, and he's 0 for 2.
Myers, who's getting a little more work, a little more frequent, and good numbers. Like to see him finish the entire game.
This will be pitch number 101. And it's 0-2 on Gomes, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. The pitches by inning, 31 in the first. That 4th inning certainly helped out, only an 8-pitch inning. 9-2 our score here in the top of the 6th. Off the end of the bat and foul. The 0-2 pitch. Backs up, and he struck him out. More than likely his final pitch of the night. If it is, it's 8 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez this evening. Ends it with back-to-back Ks. Midway through 6, Birds on top. RBI single to right. And also another base hit to right. 3 for 3. Arcia drive to success. The Cardinals leadoff man. First 35 games hitting 140. Last 38. He has been on fire.
Average up to 254 now with his 3 hits. He had 3 hits in yesterday's game also, and it's not a large sample size, but he came in batting .353 against Cleveland and added 3 more hits to it.
Here's a 2-0. Mitch Smith tells us that the Cardinals, I find this hard to believe. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. The Cardinals have never had a first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, shortstop, all homer in the same game. That it's never happened.
It is hard to believe.
The oddity, the amount of games that you play, but apparently it's never happened. That's hit out of play. Carpenter is homered tonight. He's at third. Martinez, the first baseman. Colt Wong, the second baseman. And now it's up to Greg Garcia to make a little history.
That ball still was in play in foul territory, but with a shift on Carpenter, third baseman's playing up the middle. See him right there. Long run for him.
3-2 pitch. Carpenter, another base hit. That's into the corner. He's thinking 2.
There's
He'll stop at second base, and now he's just a triple away from the cycle. Four for 4 tonight.
And he gets them in bunches, doesn't he? And after a slow start, first 6 weeks, batting 140, and now he just averages has rocketed. 4 for 4 tonight. Tommy Pham is in a little bit of a rut. He's 0 for his last 18.
Reached on an error back in the 4th. Fly to center. He is struck out. And a ground ball that's hit to the shortstop, Lindor. Carpenter stays put at second, and there's one away. World Cup action continues tomorrow on Fox and FS1, highlighted with Mexico. Stream it all live on the Fox Sports Go app. Jose Martinez, 3-run homer back in the second inning. One ball and one strike. With that home run, Martinez with 12. And he's driven in 50. For Matt Carpenter, the 12th time that he's had a 4-hit game. And a grounder to Lindor, gets that charity hop at the end, makes the play. Well, when you have a 9-2 lead, you're all smiles. And that's the case right now for the Cardinals.
You can have a little fun because they've been feeding off each other, and finally got Carlos Martinez to join the fun that the 3 plus Wainwright have enjoyed.
There's Marcell Ozuna, struck out, grounded out, and singled. 1 for 3 tonight. And a base hit into left field. Carpenter waved in, misplayed by Brantley. He'll score to make it a 10-2 Cardinals lead. Watching Carpenter running hard the entire time, got to third, and at the last second, Jose Oquendo, watching the left fielder, brought him in.
Well, base hit up out there, and as you said, Brantley came in but bobbled the ball, just got underneath him. Lucky it hit his leg, or it would have gotten past him, but there you see, send him on home, and he scored 4 runs tonight with his 4 hits.
And that ties his career high in runs scored. Extends the inning to Yadier Molina. Ozuna is given an RBI on the play. And Molina to Lindor. Flip at second. Cardinals add to their lead. We head to the 7th, and it's 10-2.
Hats off for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Brett Cecil, the new pitcher for the Cardinals. 10-2 our score. Cardinals about hit the Indians 12-6. As we went to break, take the RBI away from Ozuna. Ruled a base hit, then an error on Brantley. No RBI, no earned run. Our Chevy call to the pen. Brett Cecil and Francisco Pena, the new catcher for the Cardinals.
I think Cecil is throwing the ball much better right now. That could be a big help to the ball club if get him working and rediscover that grip. Yachty stays in the game to play first base.
Here's Tyler Naquin, and the first pitch hit in the air to center. Pham under it and makes the catch. Hyundai pitch arsenal on Brett Cecil.
See, 38% curveballs. They said when he was with Toronto, he threw more than 50% curveballs. But he's kind of lost the grip on it. I think he's getting better. Now just needs to find that consistency, and you got a great opportunity in a game like this to where you can, really work at it.
Here's Eric Gonzalez. The pinch hitter now for the Indians. There's a breaking pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. You got to wonder, too, if more work is going to let Cecil get that feel, too.
That's the problem. There's your Perez.
For those that may have forgotten, Oliver Perez, who's now in his 17th Major League season, is the Game 7 starter for the New York Mets in the NLCS of 2006. Lifted in the air, right center, Tommy Pham. And there's 2 away. Transplant Awareness Day, presented by Wash U and Barnes Jewish Transplant Center. Sunday, July 1st, with the purchase of a theme ticket, you'll receive a Cardinals cap supporting organ donation. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/transplant.
And when you're struggling and you can't find opportunities like this to where you can, less pressure, go out and work on pitches, it makes it tough. And it's tough for the manager and it's tough for the player. But you got a golden opportunity to get him in this game, and his last 2 or 3 outings have been pretty good.
Lindor is 1 for 3. A ball and a strike. Cleveland came in as one of the hottest teams in baseball, having won 7 in a row. Dropped the game last night, now trailing 10-2. Grounder left side, backhanded by Garcia. Oh, what a play! Greg Garcia. Carpenter diving in front of him, and Garcia deep in the hole and comes up with a dandy. Robs Lindor, and it's time to stretch. Inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. What a play moments ago by Greg Garcia. Well done as Oliver Perez steps in for the first time in this series. Our Chevy called to the pen. He's their lone lefty at the moment.
Well, Dan, the way he's pitching, he's going to stay in the game of baseball. Overall, hitters are batting 138 against him. Lefties 200, 3 for 15, no home runs. Right-handers 1 for 14, an 0.71 average. So the crafty left-hander is still dealing. Goes to prove that if you have a breaking ball and a heartbeat, you can play forever.
And you're left-handed.
I didn't have either. And you're left-handed.
And you're left-handed.
I didn't have either.
Little squibber hit to short. That's Gonzalez who took over for Lindor. And he makes the play.
Well, turnaround's fair play, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You do it to me, I'll do it to you.
There's Bader. A couple of runs scored, a single and a walk and a ground out tonight. 10-2 our score. The previous 5 games coming into the series, they'd given up a total of 7 runs, and they've given up 10 tonight.
I was just thinking too, you know, if you go up and tell somebody, oh, the Cardinals are struggling scoring runs, they wouldn't believe you. Trying to win their 4th in a row and having the offense in this little winning streak that we thought this team was capable of.
It's a combination of everything coming together too. The bullpen has been better.
Sure.
Myers and Cecil have settled that down. Greg Holland as well. And then defensively, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You want to see Wong out there defensively, but he's got to hit to stay in the lineup. Bader certainly is a superior defensive player. He's been splitting time with Dexter Fowler or Tommy Pham here recently, and he draws a walk. The Phillips 66 ticket vouchers are back, and they are better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more, and you can get a voucher for up to 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
Bader's walked twice in this game. That's something that Cardinals weren't doing either. You know, not receiving a lot of walks. Either hit home runs or they were singles.
Season average now after the home run single at 198 for Colton Wong. They'll play behind Bader at first base, and the 0-1 is fouled back.
Well, Bader's asking, you know, should I take off? Should I run? But a lopsided score like this, you know, they play behind and they don't want you to, you know, you don't play those rules where you embarrass another team.
And a strikeout of Wong and 2 away. Cardinals only 2.4 walks per game in their last 14 to further your point. So something to keep in mind. And the old tongue depressor working, and not the Rabowski.
Oh, see, he knows it.
It's a 17-year vet out there, Al.
17-year vet. He's not going to trick him with that new stuff.
Not sure how new that is, Al. It's been around for, I'd say 30 years.
That's why I say the new stuff. The old tongue depressor.
Here's a 1-0 to Pena.
I also know he's smart enough to wear a good number like 39 too.
What a replay.
I don't know if they'll submit that for an Emmy.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Can't get anything by old Yeller.
And a strikeout of Pena. Greg Holland had been throwing in the pen. We played 7, and it's 10-2. Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Ford, going further so you can. And by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, guardians of childhood. The statue of Enos Slaughter outside the ballpark. Cardinals with a lead of 10-2. And the bullpen seems to have settled, and it coincided with the return of Greg Holland with 3 innings, 1 hit since he came back from that injury, that hip impingement. Healthier and a bite on that slider.
And Danny struck out 5 of the 10 batters he's faced since that time. Cecil's now put in 4 straight scoreless appearances. Those two can really help supplement the bullpen and get things settled down there, and then you can establish more permanent roles. We know what the 9th is right now.
And he's also throwing strikes, so it sets everything else up.
And you could see how that his motion could get out of whack so easy, because he almost falls to first base and still has the ball in his hand and then throws almost behind him. And it's such a fine line to where now he's able to throw strikes, keep the ball down, and
just 2 weeks ago, the Pens ERA was 4.60, now down to just above 4. Big difference.
And it'll go down. I think now it'll keep on going down.
And the 0-2 pitch. He's got variations of the slider. It's one he'll throw a bit harder than another one.
Yeah.
If he slows it up, you'll see a little bit more of a dive. Almost looks like a curveball.
Right. But it does have that 12-6 tumble. And it's got to be distracting to a hitter when you see the pitcher falling like that. You really got to concentrate on the release point.
Fouled back.
And Greg Holland's going to pick up some saves, because there's going to be times where Norris is not available, or Hicks. The more experience you have down there, the better it is for the younger pitchers also.
And the 1-2 pitch to Michael Brantley.
And that doesn't hurt either. Not that you're intentionally trying to do it, but take advantage of it,
The 2-2 pitch. And a grounder, and Garcia was playing up the middle. Left-handed batters are hitting just .219 against Holland so far this year. Beat the summer heat on July 1st. That's a Sunday, and that day 30,000 fans 16 and older take home an adult bucket hat, courtesy of Coca-Cola. Kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive a kids bucket hat, courtesy of Powerade. And that's at Cardinals.com/promotions. That is not the giveaway. And neither is the hat. Jose Ramirez, the switch hitter. Hits it out to deep right. There's Bader to make the catch. And a lot gets by him. Yonder Alonso, 1 for 3 on the night with a base hit to right. The 1-0 pitch. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Yonder Alonso. And a ground ball that is fair. It's off the bag. Molina to Holland.
It's 10-2 as we go to the Cardinals half of the eighth. Matt Carpenter looking for his second ever 5-hit game. George Contos, the new pitcher, pitched in game 1 of the series. Carpenter, a home run, 2 singles and a double, triple away from the cycle. And the first pitch taken for a ball.
Contos started the season with the Pirates and was released late May, signed with Cleveland. Went to AAA, had scoreless outings, and up here in the big leagues.
Carpenter with a drive into right center. At the wall, he's done it. A 5-hit night, and he caps it off with a long ball. His second of the night. 5 for 5.
Not a bad night, huh? Start off the game with a home run. 2 singles, a double, another home run, 3 RBIs on the night.
The Nissan drive of the game.
I would think so. Could have picked any of them.
As a matter of fact, he's now 6 for his last 6 if you go back to his final at bat last night.
Keep it going.
That's 5 runs scored for Carpenter. So the second time in his career to have a 5-hit night.
Driving the ball, nothing soft hit, soft contact.
Average now up to 259.
Gotta get Tommy Pham going.
The 11-2 Cardinals as Pham hits it back to Contos. He'll underhand for the out. Jed Jerko off the bench. Scoreless inning by Holland. Jed is 2 for 10 as a pinch hitter this year. And with 1 out, the first pitch to Jerko is swung on and missed. And the 0-2 pitch. Plaza Service Fox Tracks.
Break the ball down and away. Gets him to chase it. Couple hits for Osuna tonight. Myers will take over the 9th inning.
Last Cardinals player with 5 hits, 5 runs.
Wally Moon did it in 1954. Stan the Man in 1948. Was the only Cardinal players dating back to the early 1900s to have 5 hits, 5 runs, and 2 homers in the same game.
Pretty special. There's Myers. It seems like, too, that in this little win streak that teams are scoring in the first inning and then getting shut down.
Two balls and 1 strike. Cardinals have scored in every inning with the exception of the 5th and the 7th.
Sooners average right now is at 290.
Three and 1 the count. And he hits it a mile high on the infield. The catch is made. What a night for Carpenter. Back in the first, it was a solo home run. In the second, a base hit to right. Again in the fourth. In the 6th, in the corner. And this one, a homer. What a night for Matt Carpenter. Some long nights here at the ballpark. Done a great job on the rain delay and trying to fill it until we have baseball. We appreciate all their great work. As Mike Myers takes over in our Chevy Colt to the pen. Well, Matt Carpenter, 5 hits tonight. The 5 runs scored in Cardinals history. It's only happened 11 times where players scored 5 runs in a game. And a strike by Myers to start play here in the top of the 9th.
Seen a difference in Mike Myers. Of course, he's gone up and down, I believe it's 6 times between Memphis and St. Louis, but he's kind of recaptured that attitude that he had in spring. And in spring training, he was probably the most, I'm going to say improved, but he was the most dominant pitcher. As he looked like he decided, got enough of this, I'm going to be a big leaguer, and took that attitude out the mound, increased velocity, going as for reliever versus the starter, and nasty breaking ball.
I think when he's right, I wouldn't be afraid to use him at any spot.
Exactly. And he realized that, whether you got a little gun shy because they're going up and down, you're looking over your shoulder, but remember he picked up a 3-inning save and got sent out the next day. Understood the process, but you don't like it. And I think he's got that attitude back to where he wants to stay here, and he's pitching like he should.
That's a 98 on the gun from Myers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lonnie Chisenhall at the plate. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live coming up after the ball game. And the 1-2 pitch by Myers. Francisco Pena, tricky move there. Foul ball came off the screen, which should have been thrown out. He was given a new ball and then actually threw out the new ball and kept the old one in. The 2-2 pitch. Doesn't matter now.
I mean, I watch all the time, even pitchers will get a ball that's touched the dirt It's returned to them, and they'll throw them out. They wouldn't even know how to use this scratched ball or scuffed ball.
The 2-2 pitch by Mike Myers to Lonnie Chisenhall. Slap the other way. In the corner, and the catch made by Ozuna. The BJC Healthcare difference maker, the home runs hit, that was the first. Cut the lead at that point to 2-1. The Indians had the lead early. The 3-run blast by Jose Martinez. Wong on a 3-1 pitch. And Matt Carpenter caps off a 5-for-5 night. If this holds, that's your BJC Healthcare difference maker. This will be the largest margin of defeat for the Indians since all the way back on April 3rd. They lost to the Angels 13-2 in that game, and our score 11-2.
And Cardinals have hit 4 home runs in this game, 2 solo shots, a 2-run home run, and a 3-run home run. But they also had, they got 13 hits, so they had 9 other hits. That's what the production you need. Touch home plate 11 times. Good pitching. Indians had 4 hits last night. They only have 6 here, and they had 3 of those hits in the first inning.
Ozuna again for out number 2. The Cardinals can hold on and also be a series win, something they have not had since all the way back in early June. They had the split against Milwaukee, and then prior to that dropped to 3 series, so it's something else that's on the rise for St. Louis.
And the Indians have dominated this series in interleague play. 15-9, how the Indians led this series.
Also would be Carlos Martinez, career win number 50.
Very good point. 50 wins for him, and I just hope Kluber is not hurt.
Here's the 0-1 pitch by Myers to Gomes.
Yes, he did.
0-2.
Be 9 straight. He retires him here. 9 straight by Cecil, Holland, and Myers. Close out this game.
And the 0-2 pitch. Outside corner and struck him out. It ends with a strikeout. The Cardinals have a series win. They'll go for a sweep tomorrow night, the final of 11-2.
Real fun game here for the Cardinals. A lot of offense, good pitching. Cardinals really have responded if they won 4 in a row after that tough loss Friday night in Milwaukee.
11-2. Much more to come. Missouri Lottery Cardinals live. Cardinals have won the first 2 of the series and go for a sweep tomorrow.